This video is hashtag real estate. What you need to know buying real estate in Canada. If you already own real estate, this is what you need to do. As an introduction, I am TRUDI TRAHAN-UPCHAN. I have been a human rights activist all my life and spent the last 18 years fighting for registered owners' real estate rights in Canada, to know why criminals have it so easy. And real estate fraud, title theft, mortgage fraud, estate embezzlement is so easy in Canada, and why? Do victims have no rights? What I'm outlining here is after 5 years of researching our court system and listening to unbelievable numbers of videos on the subject, the criminal real estate laws in Canada, researching every legal article, blog, and YouTube video, I discovered that not one explains the legal truth so that you can understand it and how you can protect yourself despite the corruption made legal by secret filing. Number one, don't buy in Canada. Real estate is not safe in any province but Saskatchewan. But if you must, make sure you hire a highly experienced real estate lawyer. Not some young person that is green and wet behind the ears, not a criminal lawyer, not a civil lawyer, but a professional real estate lawyer with at least 20 years experience in Canada. Real estate is the most expensive purchase you will ever make in your life, and the one purchase that most people do without any common financial advisement sense. First-time buyers often take more time analyzing the purchase of their clothes than they do on the financial value of their first home. Real estate laws. The laws in Canada, except for Saskatchewan, mean that if you buy land in Canada, as a registered owner, you have absolutely no legal protection in law whatsoever. That little document called a deed in Canada, registered with the provincial registry, is not worth the price of toilet paper. It means absolutely nothing, and you have no legal protection in either provincial or federal law. I have to fix something here. Give me a minute. You think, oh, I got up a little bit early today, and so I made a few boo-boos here. Okie dokie. Okay, number two was real estate laws. Number three, search title. Make sure your experienced lawyer does a physical, detailed search in person at the provincial registry office and does not rely on the internet, Terranet, Tricky T, that's what I call it, system, which is a criminal company, completely corrupt, not controlled by our government, and answers to no one. That's right. A complete company dictatorship in Canada is in complete control of our internet registry system. 2003, our conservative government, careful who you vote for, sold their 50% interest back to Terranet, leaving us with a system that already was corrupt within Canada prior to the internet. But now with the internet, the Canadian real estate fraud is now worldwide, with victims thinking they are buying land in Canada, but in fact, the fraud is they are given a number, and when they get here, discover they own nothing. Locally in Ontario, I will give you an example of what happened to my mother and I. 5 years after my father's death, my father's executor refused to probate the will. I paid to probate so I could get the matrimonial home registered to us. Our lawyer used the Terranet system. Years later, when it was already too late to do anything about it, We lost our home discovering that what was registered was not the matrimonial home, but in fact a vacant lot next door. Yeah. Yes, a vacant lot next door. If you already own real estate in Canada, go to the provincial registry yourself. Don't have to pay a lawyer when it is very easy to search yourself and make sure you actually are the registered owner on the property you think you own. Provincial registry office staff are very helpful, but real estate properties are by a number, not a street address, and only the staff can decipher that stupid system as to whether or not you actually own the property at the address you think you own. Yes. Number 4, title insurance on all real estate properties. Title theft and or mortgage fraud all come under the same title. When purchasing your real estate, insist on your lawyer getting title insurance. If you already own real estate, make sure you get an experienced real estate lawyer to get title insurance. Secret filing laws in Canada, except for Saskatchewan, allow for any person anywhere on the planet in Timbuktu to take title, put their name on title, and put a mortgage on title without you as the registered owner even having the right to be notified. Yeah, done in secret. Legal. Canadian law does not give you any protection, and such fraud is rampant in Canada with over 200,000 cases last year, which national media will not expose, realtors will not tell you the truth, most don't even know the truth, and most lawyers do not offer title insurance. Almost 98% of the real estate in Canada does not have title insurance. You have to get it only through a lawyer, and they will not do it because they don't even know it exists, most of them. If you already own real estate, get a lawyer and purchase title insurance. You would not own property without fire insurance. You should never own land in Canada without title insurance, which is a one-time fee and lasts for as long as you own the property. Title insurance protects you from title theft and mortgage fraud. Not all the other ways that it can be stolen, but at least you have that. And that's one of the major causes. Without title insurance, Canadian laws allow for title theft and fraud in secret, and registered owners have absolutely no protection in law whatsoever. Police will refuse to investigate or lay any criminal charges, which means you go to civil court, and in Canada the law protects the criminal, not the victim. Spousal rights on matrimonial home, number 5. If buying a matrimonial home in Canada, except for Saskatchewan, you should be registered as joint tenants, which means your spouse dies, you inherit as sole owner the matrimonial home, free and clear of any capital gains taxes which you apply for when you probate a will. In Canada, except for Saskatchewan, your spouse can in effect divorce you in secret at any time during your marriage and sever joint tenancy on the matrimonial home and all investment real estate without your even having the right to be notified. When they die, after you probate the will, try to transfer title to your name, you can discover you do not own your home or investment properties as joint tenancy has already been severed. You've just lost half your financial worth. Like that. There is absolutely no protection in Canadian law on spousal rights on the matrimonial home or land for that matter, except for Saskatchewan. You will have to hire a highly experienced lawyer when buying the matrimonial home to have a separate contract drawn up that is attached to the title on the property at the provincial registry office Again, do not allow the lawyer to use the criminal corrupt Terranet system. And this contract would be a condicell stating clearly that no transfer or severance of joint tenancy can be done on title without either a divorce, separation, or consent. This is Saskatchewan law, but these laws do not exist in the rest of Canada. Your only protection is to file a condicell attached on title of the matrimonial home and investment properties. If you already own a home, you need to see a lawyer immediately and make sure you get this condicell filed on title to protect yourself. Case in point. Many seniors get dementia or early stages of Alzheimer's and become delusional. And in that state, behind your back, will sever the joint tenancy, and Canadian law, except for Saskatchewan, allows severance to be done in secret behind your back without your even having the right to be notified. My mother only discovered 10 years after my father's death that he had severed joint tenancy in a sadistic, demented rage, having delusional dementia for several years, so that my brother would be able to steal title to her home, which he did. Our laws were always criminal for 300 years. They weren't that bad when we were under control of France, but when the British took over Canada, that's when our laws became completely criminal. And since 1991, now run by a criminal agency, Terranet. Secret filing is banned in every country but Canada. Manitoba and Alberta banned secret filing in the mid-1980s, but they left too many loopholes, so in effect you do not have the protection as registered owners that exist in only Saskatchewan and every other country but Canada. Wills and estates. Estate embezzlement in Canada is legal except for Saskatchewan. An executor has the right after you die to take title in secret to all your real estate and sell without having to notify the heirs. In my case, he refused to sell when the market was high, did not pay property taxes for 5 years, and suddenly faced a city tax public auction. Notice of public auction by the city was the first time we got notice. By then it was too late. Forced to sell the estate, sold in duress for a quick sale, and we lost our home in the process. By the time heirs find out, the estate may be sold, the money squandered, and the criminal long gone. And this happens in Canada very often. Thousands every year. Since our laws make it legal, police will not lay any charges, and the heirs are left helpless. Trying to go to court in our corrupt legal system is futile. It will cost you over 6 years, a minimum of $100,000, while you never get either your money or the estate back. If you truly care about your family, make sure you protect your heirs by putting in your will a separate clause. Separate clause should read something to the effect: executor does not have the right to take title to the real estate, name all addresses in detail, and does not have the right to sell or withhold sale without consent of the heirs to be in writing in the presence of a lawyer and witnesses. If heirs are unduly uncooperative, keeping the settling of the estate for more than 2 years, they shall be disinherited. If the executor is unduly uncooperative in settling of the estate for more than 2 years, they shall no longer be executor, and automatically I name, and you put in the new name of the alternate executor. My father was legally extremely knowledgeable, and he did what he did because of his sadistic mental state. If at any time you witness a change in personality in your spouse, I strongly advise you get a lawyer to give you the power of attorney to stop insane behavior before it becomes too late. My mother was poorly educated and sadly an enabler, and she would have never done anything to protect herself. And God knows I tried. Secret filing is legal in Canada. If secret filing was banned, Saskatchewan laws made federal, as it should be, Teranet dismantled, and its corrupt executives in jail. If we had democratic legal rights, protection in real estate laws that every Canadian deserves, I would have been notified of the transfer of title before it happened. I would have stopped my brother from stealing title and embezzling in state funds. Tom Acton would not have lost his 2 farms stolen and sold by corrupt lawyers. Last year, over 200,000 non-Canadians who purchased land in Canada as an investment would not have been defrauded by our Teranet registry, losing both their money and having no valid deed to any land in Canada. Mike McDermott's mother's land would not have been stolen. Secret filing cost Marilyn her home, Carolyn bankrupt and in subsidized housing, Jack, his wife, and 3 children their rights to their father's home, and the hundreds of thousands every year whose names you will never know, victims who media will never cover their stories, who will never get to court because they don't have the money to go to court, and if they did, they would lose anyway. I did research over 100 years of court history, and the majority never made it to court. The ones that made it to court was lower court, and they lost, and only one went all the way to the Supreme Court, and she won. But she did not get back her legal fees or the years that it took her to go to court. And the judge actually stated he didn't think that secret filing was fair. But since she hadn't filed against secret filing under Section 7 of the Charter of Rights, which she could have done, they didn't do anything about the law. But they admitted she should have never had to wind up in court. Okay, number 8. I got sidetracked. Political system. When you live or purchase land in Canada, you need to know that our political system is British, ancient, medieval, and our laws are 2,000 years old, created by a Roman dictator to steal land and embezzle estates. Canada is not a democracy. It is a vile, antiquated, corrupt legal system that is designed by criminals for criminals. I give you for free what took me 18 years and my mother and I robbed of over $500,000 in our home to learn. What you do with this information is entirely up to you, but I do hope you will think very carefully the next time you get your chance to vote and comes around. Think very carefully. Every politician, MP, Member of Parliament, provincial Member of Parliament, party leader in Canada has known these facts for over 100 years and chose to do nothing, letting victims drown in the financial chaos, becoming homeless and bankrupt as a direct result. 1991 Internet Land Registry with corrupt Teranet, Tricky T is my nickname for Teranet, Tricky T, then selling off what little control the government has, giving Teranet, Tricky T, 100% control, answering to no one. Until 1991, for 300 years, real estate fraud was mainly a local problem. Since 1991, Teranet Internet Registry caused real estate fraud on Canadian land to escalate to pandemic proportions worldwide. Welcome to Canada. Now, this is less than 20 minutes long, and I watched a 3-hour video